Hey everyone, welcome to the Horror Show. I'm Cecil Laird, here to talk to you about a brand new horror comic book series, and I do mean it is a horror comic book series because it is back to its roots, you guys. I am here to talk about the brand new Venom series, as you can see in the corner here. I got number 1, number 2, and number 3 right here. I have read all three. Number 3 just came out 2 days ago as I record this, and I finished reading it, and frankly, I was like, I've got to do a review of this comic book series. It is so good for not only Venom fans, which obviously I am, my shirt, my dolls, and my comics, of course. Add to that the fact that we've done reviews or reactions to reaction to the Venom trailer and the teaser beforehand. So we are all over Venom here at the Horror Show, and one of the reasons why is because Venom has always been one of my top 3 favorite characters. It's always been, well, I guess if I had to go 5, it would be Superman, Venom, Parallax. Yeah, I'll go with that. Superman, Venom, Parallax is my top 3. I do like a lot of others, but those are my top 3. They always have been. I have every appearance of Venom in every comic ever, except for like the last 6 issues of the Guardians of the Galaxy run he was in. I just couldn't justify it anymore. But everything else I have, including all the old runs, first appearances, you know, cameo appearances, all that stuff I have. So I've been a Venom fan for a very long time. And in case you guys didn't know, Venom has gone through a bit of a change in recent years. He was no longer a part of Eddie Brock as of about, I think, 5 years ago or something, or maybe even 6-7 years ago. They did a storyline called Anti-Venom, and at that point, well, basically what happened was Eddie started to die from cancer, and the symbiote left and ended up joining Flash Thompson, the first bully of Peter Parker, instead. And he became Agent Venom. Meanwhile, Eddie got involved in the storyline and became Anti-Venom, where he was the all-white version of Venom, and that ended up curing his cancer. And I believe it's been years, so I believe that's how it went. And so he was revitalized, and then the Anti-Venom thing left. He was left alone for a while, and then Flash Thompson sort of took over the Venom thing, and he was part of the Guardians of the Galaxy. He had his own sort of Agent Venom series where he had like the big shoulder pads and ridiculousness, which I'm sure I'm pulling up below. I was not a fan of Agent Venom. I did not like Flash Thompson as Venom, but I kept on because I had been reading Venom for so long. But I fell in love with Venom when he was the bad guy. He was the villain, and then he became the anti-hero in his Venom Lethal Protector series. And then I proceeded to get every single Venom series that ever came out. All of those miniseries through the 90s and early 2000s, I got every single one of them. So I know every incarnation of Venom, although some of them have probably left my brain at some point. I have read them all. But that's what made me want to talk about this. So what ended up happening was Flash lost the Venom symbiote. It rejoined with Eddie about a year ago. They had like a big anniversary where I think it was Venom number 150, and they put, you know, when they added up all the miniseries and all the different things, it amounted to Venom number 150. And so they reunited him with the Venom symbiote, and he became Venom again, and they started to try and put him down the slightly anti-hero path, but they still maintained a lot of the goodness, because when Flash had the Venom symbiote, they turned the symbiote good. They gave it an origin. We found out it's called a Klyntar. K-L-Y-N-T-A-R. That is the race of the symbiotes. That's what the race is called. There was a planet, the home planet of Klyntar, I think. Or they were the race on the home planet, whatever. Either way, they got a race, they got a name, and the symbiote had been turned good by Flash. When it joined up with Eddie again, it was still sort of being good and everything like that. Briefly before it rejoined with Eddie, it joined with a bad guy and like a criminal. He had it for about like 8 issues or something like that, and then it went back to Eddie. But even in that time, when it was the bad guy, it was like the symbiote was shocked that the bad guy was making it do bad things. It's like, no, that's not the symbiote I like. So now, here we are. They relaunched Venom with number 1, and it is amazing, guys. it starts off with Eddie Brock. Basically, there's a dream that happens at the very beginning of the first issue where you see like Viking times, or you know, it's swords and shields and castles, and there's these guys trying to storm a castle, and they get grabbed and pulled into the giant maw of some kind of creature that's using red, like almost not hieroglyphics, but another language entirely that doesn't even look like words or letters. And so you see that, and then Eddie shoots out of bed and is like, what was that? And then the symbiote is like all the way across the room, like with its head, little popped up head is out of the floor, like asking, you know, like Eddie's like, are you okay? And it's like, yeah, I was scared, never, you know. Eddie's like, I never knew you could dream. And the thing's like, either did I. And so basically Eddie then, you know, the symbiote goes back over him, and he goes into the kitchen or the bathroom, and he pops these pills, and like Drop Dead Fred style, the symbiote's thoughts start to fade away, and as they do, they start to get angry and like kill you, rend you, you know, tear your flesh and all this stuff. And Eddie's just like, just go away, please, just let me think. And then he basically starts to think to himself, he's like, finally my mind's clear, I have to drown it out. Something's wrong with my symbiote. It's doing weird things, and I need time to think. And then he goes on patrol. So apparently he can control the symbiote enough. He even says like can control the symbiote enough to get around, but it's hard, really hard, because it has sort of withdrawn into itself. So it's got this weird tumultuous relationship. But I gotta say, it's written by Donny Cates, who I believe is also the one writing a book called shoot, I have the first like 8 issues of it, Baby Teeth. I believe it's a horror book called Baby Teeth, and the art is done by Ryan Stegman. And I just wanted to show you guys, this is the cover right here for #1, but it is really, really great. It is very reminiscent of Greg Capullo a la Spawn era, like in his heyday of Spawn. It is amazing artwork. So here is that opening scene. You see the guy is getting pulled into the maw down here, and then Eddie shooting awake, and so he's popping the pills, you know, right there, and so he's drowning out the symbiote. And then he goes on patrol, and he, you know, breaks up a little thing by a guy dressed as Jack-o'-lantern, and he starts getting really crazy, and he ends up all of a sudden turning into this, which is this awesome, like, spiral-faced, dark, you know, black and red Venom. And so this is what he saw in the dream, and he's completely sort of out of control when that happens. And then he gets found and tied up by this guy who basically has a history as a military guy, and him and his platoon were basically a group of guys that were bonded to symbiotes. You can see the photo there. They were bonded to symbiotes in war. So he says to Brock, you weren't the first. Symbiotes have been around for a while, and he's like, my friends, they're being transported right now, and I need you to save them. He's actually shows up looking for Flash, but Venom, of course, goes and takes care of it and stops the transport truck. How awesome is this artwork, you guys? This artwork is so dope. And what's so great is you get different versions of Venom. Like, he does nods to the different eras of Venom. So the first time you see him swinging, he looks very much like the original bad Eddie Brock Venom. You see the regular teeth. He doesn't have the sharp pointy teeth right here. So that's an homage to the original Venom. And then obviously when he becomes this crazy uber Venom, you have the sort of extra elongated jaw and the crazy wild teeth. Not even the regular sharp teeth. There are crazy wild teeth when he went up against the Hulk. The one-off issue Venom versus Hulk. And then anyway, so he goes and he stops the transport truck and tries to rescue the guys, except they all bust out of the truck looking like these Sorry, I'm trying to figure out. I'm doing this all in a mirror here. They all bust out with the spiral faces, and then what's awesome is they fight him, and then they literally, like, I'm not trying to ruin issue 1, you guys, so minor spoilers here, but it's the Venom series, so you know this isn't going to hold, but they literally jack Eddie right through the chest and give him this giant hole in the chest, and then when they do, they get sucked back into the truck, and then there's this giant lightning crash, and something is released. And that's how the first issue ends. And I was like, what the hell is going on? This is so awesome. They never do like this kind of really cool stuff with Venom. It's been so long since they've had, and since they've made it sort of dark and evil like that. So the next issue picks up, and you know, obviously the symbiote's the only one there. So the symbiote is working on trying to save Eddie. So he's wrapped him up and he's trying to restart his heart, and it's really awesome. Like, the artwork is so cool, man. I love Stegman's artwork doing Venom. So anyway, he wakes up and he goes back to tell the other military guy what happened, and then when he does, he kind of goes all spiral faced again. And then the guy basically turns on, since he's familiar with symbiotes, he knows to turn on the furnace behind him, and it stops him and brings him out of it, and they talk, and basically they decide that Eddie has to go stop whatever it was that was released. You get a little bit of backstory for the guy that's helping him, but what you find out that was released is this. It's so awesome. It's a giant symbiote-covered dragon released on New York. How dope is that, you guys? This is issue 2. And so that's what happens, and then of course Venom sees it, and he's basically having to go take care of it, and all of a sudden the Miles Morales Spider-Man that's now in the real world from the Ultimate Universe shows up to stop him. And then that continues to issue 3, and I don't want to keep ruining stuff, but I do have to say, this is just the first 3 issues of the first story arc. I think it might be a 5-issue story arc, but you get this 3rd issue, which, by the way, has a badass cover. You see Spider-Man dropping into a giant Venom mouth. But anyway, what you find out is they talk a little bit, and then Spider-Man tells Venom about he has this power where he shoots a shot of electricity into someone. He can touch someone and fire a shot of electricity that's delayed. And Venom's like, what's that called? And Spider-Man's like, Venom Blast. And Venom's like, good name. It's a funny little moment, but he's like, we need to go and take down this dragon together. And when he does, it's so funny how it happens. I don't want to ruin it, but something happens, and then we get revealed what is the actual villain of the piece. And it is this guy. He calls himself Null. K-N-U-L-L. God of the Symbiotes. And it ends with this badass sort of... I'm not going to show you anything in between, but it has this badass sort of origin picture. And again, tell me this isn't reminiscent of early Greg Capullo on Spawn. How awesome is this guy? He's God of the Symbiotes. He's got these symbiote heads like swirling around him. He's holding them in his hand. Like, how awesome. And he's very Crimson King. If you guys are Stephen King fans, he is very reminiscent of the Crimson King as well. So, I mean, this arc, you guys, we're just 3 issues in, and it is so entertaining, so well done. It's well written, and it is the artwork is unbelievable. It's the best Venom artwork we've gotten in freaking years. And with the movie coming out, thank God they actually put some effort into the comic again. Like, I'm so excited about this, and I can't tell you guys how much I truly enjoyed it. I think I just did. Guys, go and check it out. This hasn't been a standard review. It was basically going through the story and showing how awesome the artwork is. It's shadow-filled, it's bold, it's moody, it's detailed, it's unbelievable. The story is interesting, it's mysterious, it's funny where it needs to be. It's not overly funny, but the moments of humor are there, and they are good. So it is a phenomenal book, you guys. It is well worth your time to check out. Go to the store. Apparently this first issue is hard to track down the first printing of. And it's only about 6 weeks old at this point, but if you can get it, go get it, because they're hard to get right now. But even if you have to wait another 4 weeks and just get the trade of the first 5 issues, do so, because it is well worth your time and money. It is so awesome, and I'm so excited for what's coming forward. Thanks very much for watching, you guys. That's going to do it for my review of the first 3 issues of Venom. I mean, again, I glowed about it, talking about the story, and you saw the amazing artwork, and I'm telling you the writing is great. So I don't know what else I need to say outside of go and check it out. Thanks for watching. I've been Cecil Laird, and remember, stay scared.